I know Amy Lee.
Amy Lee? Who's Amy Lee?
From Evanescence, the lead singer. Yeah. She has...
Wake me up! I can't wake up! That's the only song
and that's the song she didn't want. She didn't want any male. She studied as a young kid classical music. She wanted to write classical music.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty much her band. So she likes to contrast the heavy metal and her kind of classic voice.
So do you think the band at some point in time was like, hey, we need one guy to say,
no, that was producers.
I can't wake up.
That almost failed completely.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, so she did not want any male vocals whatsoever. And they said, well, we'll just do this on this one song. She later on says, yeah, it worked for here, but from now on. And they almost said, well, they said the deal's over because the next production or album, they said they want to mix in some men. And they said, she goes, see ya, we're going to Alabama. They were in L.A.
Fuck right off.
And they
really?
Yeah. And then they called her back and said, okay, you got your way.
Alabama's a hard rock town?
Arkansas, maybe. Yeah, Arkansas.
I mean, town.
Arkansas. I think it was Arkansas.
Arkansas.
That's where they're
even
from.
more so.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I didn't ever realize there'd be a gigantic, hardcore community in Arkansas.
Amy Lee. Yeah.
Amy Lee. Well, there you go. Something for you to learn. How's it going over there, Jackson?
Good.
I'm just going to talk like this.
Just got it up.
A little burst.
What's this?
Like
Why'd you go with the IPA? Why'd you go with the...
He likes IPA.
I'm just warming up.
Stone Cold.
Yeah, that's the nightcap.
Cold smoke.
Cold smoke.
You know what that?
It's
you know
like
what they call
it's like
cold
a
smoke?
sandwich here. I've got
It's
That's the
ski.
snow. That's the
Yeah.
snow term. You
bourbon
do.
IPA.
Well, I do. Yeah, we are. Well, two of us are two-fisting tonight. And oh shit! I almost spilled it. Yeah. This is just. It's gonna be a
burn a hole in the rim break bar if it's spilt on.
I'm just trying to bring back Bourbon Boy.
I like bourbon.
I know.
I've become it's become a problem, I think. I don't know. I don't mean like a problem like, oh shit, my life is coming to an end. But I mean like,
you have a collection now.
It is a wormhole, man.
Yeah, it is.
But it's a lower calorie wormhole than wine. I will say that.
And beer.
Yeah, well, that's never going to change.
Yeah.
Hey, before we begin, let's thank the fine folks at Wahoo Fitness. You know the computers, you know the trainers, and you know the training platforms. All you need to switch cameras, all you need to keep going through the fall and beyond. Be a Wahoo-ligan, get to Wahoo Fitness today, and be sure to use the link at Packfiller. Also, we need to thank the fine folks at Scratch Labs. You know how important proper fueling is, right? Well, Scratch has you covered. From drink mixes, full energy fueling, I read these really fast, you can tell, and I kind of fuck them up. And brilliant bars and gummies. That has a whole different connotation, doesn't it, now that we're in the state of Washington. To the best source of feed zone recipes out there, you can't go wrong with Scratch. Click the link. Finally, Gooder sunglasses, people. You know the discount code still works. The summer of Gooder is over, but we still have some discount codes left. Packfiller 15 available to get you a great discount on the best value non-slipped, polarized, style-enhanced shades for your riding pleasure and safety. Get to Gooder.com today. Pat, why didn't you mention Ambassador Cycling? Well, because that's probably going to be ingrained within the show today. So. Fuck, it's playing through the TV. God damn it.
You're top notch, man.
I was thinking, like, you guys have really upgraded in here since last time, and then that shit.
Then I should fucking drop the ball. God damn it. There's a listener out there. I'm not going to name this listener by name, but who busts my balls on the show. And I just And I honestly responded last week saying, hey, your input's kind of dickish. And this person just like took that and took it as a compliment and ran with it. And I was just like going, I kind of meant you were being a dick.
Maybe he wasn't. Maybe that's a sense of humor. Could be.
After thinking about it longer, I kind of got it and I appreciated it a little bit more. But
you didn't get the joke.
What? Oh, wait, what? What was the joke? Say it again.
No, that's your line is people that get the joke. Oh. You did not follow your own lead. Wow. Right?
I quit. Wow, it's really quiet in here with your headphones off.
I know, right?
Now I know why my neighbors don't care. I should start playing the drums again. Wow. Did anyone see today's stage today?
Mm-hmm.
Today's stage today?
I had to catch the highlights because I had to go to work before it finished.
Let's conspiracy our way into the show. Let's conspiracy theory our way into the show. I'm going to just ask the questions. You don't necessarily have to answer them unless you got a quick 2-3 word response. Why would Remco intentionally flat with 3K to go in the stage? Why would Primoz try to grab a wheel of a sprinter in the final meters? Was there some sort of a slippery substance in the final 200 meters of that sprint? Is there a magnet in Primoz's bike that attracts him to pavement? Does he crash because of his skiing background? Those are the questions to answer on tonight's show. All these bullshit theories and more on today's episode of the Packfiller Cycling Podcast. The theme is over. I'm not going to hit it again because I'm probably the fucking TV. With me are the usual purveyors of bike-related bullshit, the old farts and the young bucks, the IPA guys and the Euro snobs. I'm looking at you, Paul. No. Let's have some fun talking about bikes. Gentlemen, when I introduce you, by the way, we have somebody new in the studio, not new, a returner in the studio. When I introduce you, please respond with an answer to the following question. What is your worst habit or strange thing that you do that you would like to change? You know, a little tick or something like that. You know, it's like I just randomly tell people to fuck off in my car or something like that, okay? Number one, he's the guy who doesn't believe in disc brakes because they simply slow you down. Cycling's not about slowing down. It's about going faster. Mr. Paul Main, how are you, man?
I'm doing all right.
Right on.
Yeah. Yep.
What's your
habit? I have a habit of farmer blowing while I'm driving, and it doesn't always seem to. Well, that's my intent.
Wait, what is farmer blowing?
Snot rocket.
Yeah.
Farmer blow. I mean, when you're out in the fields, that's what you do. I mean, you don't. Some guys carry a hanky, but.
Ugh.
Yeah,
that's way
but
worse.
that's where. Yeah, no kidding. I just let it ride, but
yeah.
Yeah.
I've never understood handkerchiefs,
No,
especially a cloth one. You blow your nose in this, and you keep it. You put it back in your pocket. It's like you're walking around with snot.
What do you
in your
wash
pocket.
it with when you go to wash it?
Yeah,
Would be like maybe clothes that fell in manure or something like that.
Yeah. They're always like, oh, gentlemen really carry hankies, so when women cry, it's like, you think that a person is going to want to take your stiff rag?
Here, let me break it open crusty? For you.
Yeah.
Sounds like Velcro. You know?
Would I be self-incriminating, Paul, if I said you do wash it with one other specific rag that's in a male's life?
I want you to explain in pure detail what you mean by that.
My son's at the bar, and I don't
get
that. No, I don't either. Second of all, he's the guy who's experiencing his last September of bachelor freedom, and that sounds depressing.
That's every month for this year, though.
Well, yeah, this is your last September of bachelor freedom.
Yeah.
So basically, I have a shit ton of introductions for you already written.
Yeah.
October, November, December, January. Mr.
fallacy.
Jackson Bulger.
Yeah.
It is. It's a total fallacy. It's bullshit. It's a macho bullshit
You
thing
lost
to
your
say.
freedom once you started dating. And that's okay. That's a great thing.
Yeah.
How are you, man?
I'm good.
Yeah.
First day back with the kiddos today, so that was, like running a marathon in 7 hours.
Back to school.
Yep.
You know, I always start to feel sorry for myself as a teacher in late summer, and then I look at the other people who work year round, and I go, oh, fuck, I guess just go back to work. But they don't understand. Because it's different.
Yeah.
Although it's not, because I hear my wife's stories from work, and I'm just like going, holy fuck, you work with children. And she's in the mortgage business.
Yeah.
Yeah. Tick or thing you do wrong. It's habit or strange thing.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was a weird summary.
I really pick at my thumbs. You know how you peel at your thumbs sometimes? Yeah.
What do
I
you
do that.
Peel?
Skin that shouldn't be peeled. So
Cuticles.
Yeah. Well, I like right there, right where my thumb meets my nail. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, here?
Yeah, no, right here.
Like out here.
This is great radio.
Wow.
It's right
here.
We're on YouTube too, and this will encourage more people to watch the live stream.
Yeah.
Fuck, what are they doing? I gotta log in to see what the. Okay,
I know.
really?
Yeah, that's
Really?
my thing.
You want to get rid of that?
Well, I probably never will. But yeah, it's
you
just,
could lose your thumbs. You know, you just be walking around.
it's
Like
the
a Flintstones
most useless
character.
one. I'd rather grab things like this. You know. So if people are watching, I'm grabbing my drink with 4 fingers
That
instead
makes
of
it
5.
look cooler because you grab it like a,
Yeah.
I'm thinking
you can
I
still
wouldn't
write.
like that because your brake hoods. That's your security is your thumb.
That's true.
Yeah, but then I'd be able to I'd get all crazy and
Somebody
cool
should
with
see
it.
if Primoz
you
Roglic
do
has
the,
bad thumbs.
You do the
Next conspiracy
taco
theory.
Vanderhorn style.
Oh, yeah,
that's
just-
what you'd have to do.
Yeah.
And then you go.
Primoz Roglic must have bad thumbs.
Yeah, could be.
I came up with that all on my own. Third, he's the guy who definitely did not ride his bike this last Saturday. In studio is the one and only Bike Fit Sam Waples. You dude, okay, anyway.
I did, didn't I?
No.
This
Was it
last
on,
Saturday?
if it isn't on Strava.
It doesn't exist.
You guys, that's a low blow. That is a low blow.
So, before we get to this whole bullshit theory of you're like, hey, I rode 280 watts the whole way. Whatever.
He takes a picture of a map and he takes a blue line. Goes,
Yeah.
look at
Yeah,
and
yeah.
hand script 350 watts normal power.
he Sharpied it
Yeah.
like Trump with
Yeah.
the tornadoes.
I really rock. For some reason, it didn't make Strava. But here's my copy.
Next conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
I just melted the computer with my watts. Can anybody disprove that?
Oh, no, that's
Yeah,
bullshit.
It's
nice
true.
dream.
So, what's your habit or strange thing that you do that you would like to get rid of?
Peeling skin off of fruit. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, I can't eat
Like
the skin.
grapes?
Like
Yeah.
apples?
No, grapes too. Yeah,
You
so I just don't
peel
like
grapes?
it's way too much effort.
My wife and I have always made a joke. It's like going, you know, when she's sitting on the couch and I get up, she's like, "Could you give me another?" And I'm like, "Do you want me to fucking peel you a grape too?" In your house, that's real.
Oh yeah.
Pe-
Yeah. Like growing up,
You
always.
peel
And
grapes?
so yeah, everything.
Fucking hell, that's got to take forever.
Oh yeah, and when we first got married, you know, I'd ask for like whatever. My wife would bring me, say, an apple, and I'm like, oh, but there's skin on it.
Well,
And then, and then my wife is just like, your mother spoiled you.
So is there like a special store you go to buy like skinned fruit?
No, you just gotta do it yourself.
No.
Yeah.
That's
Just always carry one of those
It's a habit
So
you
that-
gotta kick.
peelers.
so
Really?
I'm going to
Wow.
venture to guess you are circumcised. So I'm just throwing it out there. Otherwise, I think you're bleeding again. I gotta peel it.
Wow, we have taken a dark turn on this show over the last couple episodes, and I like it.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a
That
lot
was
of work.
perfect.
That is a lot of work. So bananas and oranges, you're fucking fine.
Oh, I'm good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Easy.
yeah. Good to know.
Do you like crust on your bread?
That's
No.
what?
No?
No?
Mm-mm.
That's what I thought. I
Yeah.
thought you were gonna say
Any
This is, the
any
guy,
extra?
this is the guy who works with preschoolers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I'm high maintenance.
No.
You must loofah your skin to get all the dead stuff off here.
Gotta shed a layer.
Yeah, I'm bleeding. Yeah, I got it. Yeah. He rejoices when he gets road rash. Yes, I'm gone. Yeah,
That section's clean.
yeah.
Me, I'm the guy who likes gummy bears and bourbon. I'm Pat Bulger, and my habit is that I count. I count a lot of things. I count stairs when I'm walking up them, my steps. Sometimes on rides, I count pedal strokes until I forget to count, and then I start over again. I'm not fucking
That's
kidding
horrible.
you. I count everything, and sometimes I actually, my wife says I move my mouth when I'm counting. Like 4, 5, 6, 7. I've always done that, and I want to fucking stop it. And I grind my teeth, which I got to work on. Or I'm gonna have nothing left. So those, I confess 2 things that I have a problem with. Oh, it's Sam. Welcome here, man. We haven't had you back in a while. You've brought bourbon to the table, so I might completely fuck up the technical elements of this show as we progress. Yeah, you know, for those of you who are one of the, like those cyclists who are like totally fitness oriented, health, you might want to switch to a triathlon show or something. Because we're sinning. Gentlemen, how are your cycling lives right now? Sam, I'm going to get to the bullshit, but tell me how things are going this tail end of our summer. Things are changing, almost sounds like, are you there, God? It's me, Margaret.
I think you and I know.
Yeah, Paul and I are the only ones who get that reference. But how are things going with your cycling lives? I don't care. I'm not making eye contact because anybody can take the helm and run with it on this one.
Oh, fine enough. I'm
good.
I'm getting to the point. I said this to Paul the other day. We were trying to figure out what the route was, and he was like, "Do you want climbing or do you want flat?" And I was like, honestly, at this point, I don't need to climb.
Yeah.
I'm not. What race anymore?
Yeah.
So if I ride, that's what I'm happy with. I'm not really looking to gain anything anymore. Just looking more to maintain and look for next year.
Not gain. Yeah.
Well, yeah.
All right.
So yeah, I rode once. If that was
it's September. It's not the end of the season per se, but yeah,
it kind of is here.
Yeah,
which kind of sucks.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to the weekend rides with you guys again, though, in September. It's nice temperatures if you start at 10.
Your time 10, 11. Yeah.
We do have. I mean, I'm going to brag about our community. We do have the best fall in the world, in my personal perspective. We have, beautiful changing leaves. We have warm climates. We have everything that's really nice. We don't get really wet in September and October.
October's our rainiest month.
Is it really? Well, I'm
no,
living in a happy
November,
little bubble.
October 2nd.
Is it?
Yeah, November's the wettest month.
October.
Well, so October isn't. So now you take it back.
But it is. I think it's our second wettest month. It's the tail end of it.
Well, you just made me look dumber than I normally.
Well,
would.
it doesn't always rain.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's something to look forward to.
Spokane gets
Sigh.
16 inches of annual rain,
Yeah.
so that's not much.
Yeah.
No.
Seattle gets that in 2 days.
That's true.
Yeah.
Do you guys find motivation just to ride in the fall and kind of, or fuck you, I'm going to ride hard?
No, I love fall riding, but it's all about going out and probably cafe rides, stopping somewhere and getting a cup of coffee and maybe a snack and just being on the bike for a set time as opposed to a set distance.
Okay. You've been kicking it in lately, Sam. I mean, first of all, we did bust your balls even though you weren't here about the time trial. It's like, I'm going. Whoops, I'm not going. I mean, can I say that was your? I'm saying, can I say? But I'm gonna say it. That was kind of your MO this year, man. It was just like, hey, we got these new teammates. They're gonna be where the fuck are they? I saw your wife in the kit more than I saw you in your kit.
Yeah.
All right.
That's true.
What the fuck's the deal, man?
That's a great question. Was it the same excuse for Ronde? What was my excuse? Not Ronde, but the
RC3.
All I know is
what was my reason for that?
I don't know about that one.
You at
I
least
was
signed
here.
up. You gave them money, which we thank you for your support.
That was purely a donation entry because I was not in shape. That was that reason. That was just simply me being not doing that. I've gotten my teeth knocked in enough in a 1-2 field, and I think they ended up combining it, didn't they? 1-2-3.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yeah.
See, I would have done it then, but it sounded to me like I was going to be competing against 10 guys, and these are guys that I know, and I'm like, I'm not even going to be able to sit with them for more than 20 miles on a 90-mile road race.
You know what? There are those moments, and I do have to mention that Jackson's still working his way up. Paul and I are in Masters, and you're the only guy who's having to ride 1-2s.
Right.
And it's just a punch in the nuts when you start, especially a road race, and especially with a tiny field. It's like, no, I'm just going to hang out in the field. Oh, there is no field.
It's a breakaway from the kilometers.
Yeah.
And that was that reason. The reason for the time trial was, man, I have a shitty back, and when I was trying to dial in my TT fit, I messed it up on whatever day it was, and I think
say that it doesn't reveal things that are good for your business.
I am not
Heal
afraid
yourself,
to
doctor.
Well, here's the thing: is I I am now, that TT bike is dialed, but I hadn't touched it since I raced in 2014. That was a very different Sam.
Yeah.
That was a long time ago. So anyway,
you guys are totally changing my reasoning and thought process in terms of buying a TT bike, because it's like,
it's stupid.
I use it like once every 3 years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck it.
I mean, mine was inherited. I wouldn't.
Okay.
I wouldn't spend money on a TT bike.
Yeah. So tell me about this this attempt that you made last weekend. You were obviously not local.
Yeah, no.
And we all of a sudden we get this mad, for the listener who's wondering what the fuck's going on, we get this mad text stream of just like going, fuck, Strava didn't read my fucking God, and we're all going like, what is he talking about? So listener, understand that we're in the same boat you are. It's like Sam was trying, apparently we deduced that it's like a Jack Broadhead tweet stream where he's following the show and he's just randomly mined garbage into his phone, and he voice texts, which makes it even funnier. But so explain to us what you were doing, what you were attempting, and what made you so upset.
Yeah. So, long story is that I had all this shape or fitness that I was training for the TT and then didn't get to use. And I was out riding on the west side, one of my favorite loops. And I was ripping along, and I just realized, I'm like, man, I'm actually holding like really good power for this. And so I was like, I'm going to just keep going and see what I can do. And I got back, and my computer read 274 for almost 2 hours. And I was like, wow, that's amazing.
274 quotation marks.
And
Paul just made.
That's the thing, is I was like, I know everybody's just gonna poke at me for this because they should. And so anyway, my brother is the first one to go, didn't happen. And I'm like, oh, David,
Yeah.
I hate you. And so the next day I was like, well, obviously there's only one thing to do. I have to go do it again. And so the next day I went out and...
Because you're a pig-headed doofus, man.
Yeah.
I mean, come on.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like shit.
Yeah. And, like, when you look up those numbers, like power to weight, it's honestly not anything that's like, oh, my God, this guy's a legend.
Yeah.
It was just, like, a really good, hard ride. And I was stoked about it. But then the next day I went out and did another effort, like that, just to prove a point. And so, overall... the riding has been awesome, but you guys got rage texts. I was pissed because Wahoo, something between like Wahoo and my phone, corrupted the file. I thought you could just delete it off the phone and it would still be on the Wahoo. Went to
I did that once.
Yep.
Once.
I'd like
Doesn't
to thank
work.
our sponsors, Wahoo Fitness,
Thank you,
for
Wahoo.
this segment. Yeah.
Turns out it was more user error.
Yep.
As I looked onto a lot of forums
Okay.
wanting
It
to
is.
blame them.
Yep.
Okay.
So I have to swallow my pride on that.
Yeah. How about what about the perspective of this whole mentality? And I know we've talked about this before, but this mentality, if it isn't on Strava, it didn't happen. We bust balls about that, but I remember I gotta call myself out on. I gotta call myself out on because I remember the days when you would not tell people what you did, what you trained, because you wanted to keep your training secret. You didn't want somebody to know that you were putting down mega miles or doing specific intervals because you wanted to show up at start line and look at them and always give the bullshit excuse like, "Oh man, I've been training. I suck. See ya." But now it's out there for everybody to see, and it's almost this dick measuring contest or vagina measuring contest, I guess.
Wow.
How do you measure?
Can't wait for
vagina?
yeah.
How do you stay neutral on that?
I don't know.
Sorry.
Genital measuring
Yeah,
contest?
genital measuring contest.
There we go.
Let's just
There
do
you
that.
go.
Let's just do
That's
that.
progressive.
Jackson's
Yeah.
looking at me like going, "I'm never coming on this."
No, I was
He's
gonna
like-
say I don't know if it works the same both ways.
Yeah.
But anyway, I mean, whatever happened to the keeping your training secret as opposed to I gotta show it out there, I gotta flaunt it.
It's changed. Now it's the other way around.
Yeah.
People are getting on scooters and doing all this shit and faking all this Strava, and they're like, "Oh, this guy's gonna kick my ass."
Yeah.
It's just the opposite.
Are you picking on somebody in particular?
No, there has been a problem of that. In the past,
Scooters?
so, yeah, people.
Yeah,
with scooters.
people
kidding
did.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, like,
I'm going to do a dick measuring thing. How tiny is your dick that you are so worried about a Strava segment that you're
Yeah.
going to go out on a scooter?
Yep.
What an asshole.
Well, I've also just seen it where they do pace lining, or going behind a motor scooter.
Sure.
And
Motor pace
that's-
behind it.
That's
Yeah.
barely any better.
Yeah.
In my eyes.
The thing is, you got to take it with a grain of salt with Strava, in my opinion. You could have. There's times where I'm like, I beat my best time, and it's like, well, that 50-mile-an-hour tailwind certainly helped on that.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it goes. And you just got to expect, just take it with a grain of salt. It isn't, but you can actually see people. When I see somebody does a KOM or something, especially when they take one of mine, I go on and look at the ride and see if they rode by themselves.
and then you
were
just
they-
always flag it.
No, I've never flagged any of them. I know there's ones that have been cars because I'm like, how do you get over that hill at 40 miles an hour? But within a couple of weeks, it's gone. So I don't even
Really?
sweat it. Yeah. But, I think that's just one of those things. I'm going to cry if I lose this. KOM. There is a sense of pride when you have it. I'm not going to lie. But at age 60, almost 60, I'm not going to get any more.
I've never had one.
It's
I've never
not
had
gonna
one.
happen.
Yeah, I
never will.
I think for me
You
personally,
and I share one.
Do we?
Yeah, we
A
go back and
Strava
forth.
account?
We share
No,
a
not a
KOM?
At a KOM, yeah.
What?
You and I are the ones that always
Where
have
is it?
you have it, or I have it, or you have it, or I have
Don't
it.
tell
I don't
me
know
about
where it is,
Tell me later.
but it's always
We
you.
can look it up.
It's always
Let's
you
look it
or
up.
me. But it's always like one road to this house, though.
Oh, it's like our driveway.
You set up
you're
your
going
own
to see me
segment.
in a TT suit tomorrow.
Yeah.
Tomorrow in my driveway.
Crush it.
Fuck you! Outside, my wife's like, honey, Sam's out front. Oh,
425 watts.
Talk to me, you guys, about the we talked about coffee rides and the rest of your season. Is anybody planning anything this fall? Do you take time off the bike? If so, is it intentional or is it just meh? Because I'm not gonna lie, I have not straddled a top tube since our last show. I just didn't, and I was getting back into things.
Were you on the west side or something?
Yeah, I went to the
okay.
west side. Yeah.
Apparently,
really getting
Strava doesn't
mileage
work
out of
over
this.
there,
It
so
doesn't.
it's not
It
worth
doesn't.
it.
It's a gigantic black hole of information over there. You can't
Yeah.
get shit over there.
Yeah.
You guys, this is going to be bad for you guys.
Welcome
next
back
time
to
we
the
go
show,
and
Sam.
ride.
Yeah.
I'm going to make you all pay.
Oh,
I'm willing to die.
Good. Baltic yawned.
Yeah, I'm really worried.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Oh, my back. My Wahoo's not working.
Hey, you can't talk on that one. I can't tell how many rides we've been on, Paul, where you've been like, shit, I forgot to start the computer.
Yeah. Our group rides. Mine's half the distance, and it starts in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot to start it.
Yeah. I forgot to start it, boys. Yeah. Is anybody thinking about next year yet? I mean, we're going to get to it's kind of related to the topic tonight, but is anybody thinking about next year yet? Or are you still thinking about this year? Or are you just like, fuck it, I'm going to throw my bike into a dumpster like Daniel LaRusso from The Karate Kid? That's my favorite scene. I hate this bike. I got to get that audio.
I think next year, I would like to. I'm gonna race the same races I did last year. Hopefully, I will set the goal of. I always set the goal of winning whatever I enter. So when we do our RC3 next year, I will. It sounds really cocky, but
it was just running through my head. I'm like going, God, you arrogant.
Well, I'm
so proud.
It sounds that way, but it's like it's hard to explain. It's not necessarily.
I know. Now you're reeling because I called you out on
No.
it.
I was gonna say it's a mentality to go into something, not like an expectation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So talk to me, though, about this year. What do you have left this year? Is there nothing?
No.
Crickets on the horizon.
Yeah.
Have you thought about winter training, like what you want to work on, any kind of things? You did mention you don't want to lose.
Yeah.
Not lose a race. You don't want to lose any fitness, but can we be honest? We're going to lose fitness. But I mean, are there any things from last year that you would like to improve upon for next year?
Yeah, I mean, Paul and I talked about it a little bit on our ride on Saturday, but I mean, I'm probably not going to really change that much what I did last year. Just 2 or 3 trainer rides a week, and then going to the gym when I can. But yeah, next year I'm hoping to actually race the Vancouver crits because I will have been married already, so then I don't have to worry about that stuff. So yeah, just kind of keeping it the same, which I'm happy that I found a method so I don't have to stress about finding something new,
Yeah.
How
about you two? Sam, what went well this year?
Nothing.
Other than not going to race.
Nothing.
You did get a gravel bike, and you grew a
privateer stash.
A privateer stash.
And donated money to races.
Gravel stash.
And I donated money to races. And I did technically win, because we're going to just count it as a win since I did nothing else. Chafe 150.
You did. You fucking crushed that thing. And I have not seen your eyes farther back into your skull than I have seen anybody. I was just like, oh, dude, you rode out of your soul.
Yeah. Especially just with no fitness. That sucked.
But you still won.
Yeah.
I did mention that on the show that,
Yeah.
You won the 150, which
150,
is lunacy.
Yeah.
Couch to 150.
I'll never, that's stupid. I'm starting to actually think like you guys, nothing's worth it over 100 miles. It's just not. Like, I'd rather go out for a really hard 80.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Than, like, I mean, that was a really hard 150, too. Because we were pulling hard, but it was stupid. For the rest of my season, I thought about actually, because new gravel bike, doing some of those cross races.
Really?
They're on Wednesday nights or something. And
it starts this week.
I don't really care about how I would do.
Yeah.
I think it's more of just going out and seeing the community and stuff. But I'm excited for this winter. Last winter my life was consumed building a cycling studio in my basement.
Yeah. And
now it's actually done. And so I have an area where it's just donated all to having my bike on a trainer, yoga, all that stuff.
Wow. So
I'm stoked. I think next season's going to be good. I hope that we can get some paper plate races going for next year, because then we can all race together. That's just the thing, is it sucks to race alone in a 1-2 field.
Oh, yeah.
That's just not inspiring.
Yeah.
I don't really want to do it.
We're going to get to that. This is our topic
cool.
tonight, before I get to news. But should I just skip news? Fuck
no.
There's nothing going on in the world.
Paul, you had a list of questions at the beginning of the show we haven't answered.
Yeah. We need
the conspiracy.
Oh, did you really want to? Okay, we can get to those. Those were kind of facetious bullshit.
Yeah, it was.
But yeah. Paul, I don't mean this in a bad way. I mean this as a very positive compliment. You're the guy who looks at me and always just goes, next year.
Mm-hmm. That's what cycling's all about. I can do this until I'm taking a dirt nap. Yeah. So
dirt nap.
Yeah.
You'll take my bike.
I got next year.
You'll take my bike from my cold dead hands.
Exactly.
You have naturally cold hands anyway.
Yes, I do. He's
what?
dead. No, he's alive. He's Lazarus.
Fuck. Yeah, Jesus. He's just put him under hot water. He's good. What was the season like for you?
Is pretty much crap, but that's just the way it goes, and I've had plenty of those in my time. In fact, majority of my time racing. But looking forward to next year. Like I've mentioned on the show before, turning 60, that opens a different category. But I still local. Like if we do paper plate races or whatever, I will always race where I was as a young buck too. But that's the only way I'm going to get better. But my intentions when we go to Belgium is try and do is on the famous climbs, in Belgium and segments, and try and do 60-year-old, try and get as high as I can go. Yeah. It'd be for shits and giggles. Come back and we got to grab your drink.
Which one?
Turd of Bloom.
Oh, Sam's empty.
Yeah.
Turd of Bloom empty.
that I ran into Ace and Mike Surratt, who's an official lives in this side of the state, and they said John Stoker is definitely planning to do RC3 again next year. Walla Walla. I mentioned that it's a shame that they have all these stage races like in 1 month period. And he says, yeah. He said Baker City's thinking of being part of that series. There's talk about Baker City, so there's 4 stage races. So yeah, I think things are looking up, and I'll expand more when we get to that.
When we get to that. So,
yeah. So that's what I'm looking for, and I definitely, and I told my wife, this is the year that I do go to nationals wherever it is, even if it's in Florida. But I don't think they know yet. It's a bid.
Please, that could be great for you. Actually, it's pancake flat.
And it's
what are you saying?
And it's a retirement community.
You're a motor on a flat.
There are a lot of old people there.
Yeah.
You just like fit in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry, Paul, I went with it.
No,
I'm not that far behind you.
Hey, and I know I'm getting old because every time I descend over 40 miles an hour, I thought it was my jersey was loose. It's my skin, and I'm not shitting you. It's like
where?
On my arms, right here. Just I got flesh curtains. Look at this. Gave myself a black eye going, stop that! And this thing swings around, hits me in the face. Yeah.
Oh, man, I know, yeah. I am, I'm going to talk, never mind, I'll get to that. You know what, let's just fuck it. Let's just get to the news, shall we? Let's get to the news. I don't have a sponsor for it written down, but we're going to say this news is sponsored to you by Ambassador Cycling, everybody. Ambassador. I'm sure that's probably embarrassing for Sam because this is his mommy, his deal, his baby. Dude, how's it going with all that? I mean, are things...
Yeah, I gotta send you guys a picture of the new space. It's cool. We're up in this loft area now that has lots of natural light, super cool hipster, vibes.
Everybody sees his mustache too.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm so happy there's another stash in there. But
But no, it's all good. I mean, it grew again this year. Like I had several weeks where I could barely keep up with things. Just averaging, probably 15 fits a week. So things are steadily picking up.
New fits or cyclists who have found problems.
Yeah.
What's your biggest?
I would say most of them are cyclists that bought a new bike and then are like, things are uncomfortable, and then the bike shop refers them to me. But man, I've had a lot of returning people too, which has been cool. Like to see them 2 years down the line, and they're like, I felt so much better, but now I've been riding more, and then they come back and do another fit.
I personally need to talk to you because I have shoulder and back problems.
Yeah,
shoulder issues are horrible. Like I can't sleep on my side anymore. I have to rotate over because my shoulders are so bad. I'm sure it's strengthening and flexibility.
That is like, I had a person today that I was like, at what point did you finally realize this was a problem? I lost all of my sleeping positions.
I noticed it when I put my arms back, like I'm resting them on chairs or something like that.
Yeah.
And then I go to move them back, and I'm like, oh fuck. And I do that. I'm not exaggerating. I am fucking
make a lot of dad noises, huh?
I do. I think it might be some sort of.
That's just crepitus sinking into the joint.
Yeah. Well, and it usually
yoga.
It usually
open up the shoulders.
Yeah. It must, because it usually starts creeping in towards the tail end of the season because I've spent so much time
hunched forward, and
we getting lower.
We need to do
and you do this.
Yeah.
You're on your computer. You're
And I'm very insecure, so I bring my shoulders together. I'm like Larry King. They could touch together in the front.
Larry King. What a good imagery. Garlic. Garlic.
Garlic. The headlines: what a dramatic day that was supposed to be as boring as watching a paint dry. Mads Pedersen won stage 16 of the Vuelta today, but Primož Roglič was the center of attention after attacking and then crashing. And I'm reading a prepared copy on the breathless finale into tomorrow's. Breathless would be the understatement because I was screaming at the TV going, Remco, flat it, go. I know I'm rooting against Remco, but he accelerated clear with about 2.6 remaining on this road towards the finish, bringing Pascal Ackermann, Danny Van Poppel, Fred Wright, and Mads Pedersen with him. Remco suffered a puncture. The conspiracy theorists are saying this was a bullshit puncture, which is bullshit, but I'll be just inside the 3K. He did, the puncture was just inside 3K, so he made it, meaning that he would be handed the same time as the main peloton. Commissaires reviewed after the finish. Roglic led the five-man move all the way through the finale, dragging them onto the finish straight with 8 seconds in hand on the bunch. However, what looked like a successful day's work took a different guises than closing meters when he crashed heavily after a touch of wheels with Wright. And when I say a touch of wheels, I mean a curse from some sort of a god and something that his mother had done in a previous life. Gentlemen, we all saw what was going on, so this is our opportunity to talk about the conspiracy theories that are going on, reflections on the stage, and where, I'd like to ask multiple questions. Are you still watching the Vuelta? Are you engaged in the Vuelta? Are you paying attention to the fact that Remco is not the powerhouse he was a week and a half ago? I open up the floor.
You're going to be short, so go ahead.
Yeah, I haven't really watched that much. It's funny. You don't really need to watch it anymore. You can just figure everything out on Instagram.
Social media. Yeah.
You can figure everything out. I've watched the crash probably 15 times.
Jackson, I'm so saddened to hear that.
Well, the thing is, though, it's like I've watched every single one-day race. I watched a little bit of the Giro. I watched a full 3-week Grand Tour. In France. And then the Vuelta's like, do I really got to try again? You know what I mean?
Another one?
Seriously.
These are like colonoscopies.
But it's
mine's coming up.
Mine is too.
Yeah.
I will say though, I am the only one that picked Remco. So
I know.
Really, I cannot watch all I want, and I'm still doing better than everybody else. So,
such an asshole.
Why don't you give me a paper cut and put lemon juice in it?
Yeah. Did anybody hold any? I mean, why would Remco pretend to flat with 3K to go?
Well, I don't know. Here's because I was trying to figure this out when I looked at it. Now, they are running. Specialized is running a different tire.
Here we go.
I know, but they've been greasing out in corners, and that's why Alaphilippe is out. Those guys have been slipping. I don't know if they're using a brand new tire or whatever their setup is. And then Remco on the interview, because he fell back in the last, like inside or just like 5K to go. He kept falling back because he was worried about the corners and slipping out. I'm like, well, no one else is slipping out.
Yeah.
But I think they have a problem with their tires. This is just my take on it. So whatever their product is. So I think what they're running is tubeless with inserts because his tire wasn't totally flat. It was low. And so that allows him to continue. If he had tubeless with no insert, he's dead. Yeah. He's not rolling. Mm-hmm. They're not running tubulars.
It was a slow leak of some sort. It was. It had to have been.
Well, and so they're running tubeless, basically. I don't think they're done with the clincher thing after the debacle last year in Paris-Roubaix. That was disastrous. They just flatted all over the place. So, and they're 100% Specialized sponsored. So I think there's some legitimacy there. The problem I have is that 3-kilometer rule. And the reason that was installed is because during stage races,
the sprint finish is chaos.
Well, and the thing is, you get GC guys trying to hold there so there isn't a split so they don't lose. Because GC guys were trying to get into that split in the sprint as opposed to holding back. Mm-hmm. And so they decided that 3 kilometers, if there's a crash, you're not going to lose time. I think that's a stupid rule, but I can understand, why they want to do it. But I don't think they should have it. But I don't understand why a mechanical would fall into that category.
Yeah.
If he had crashed, I would have said, yeah, but a mechanical with it. So it's all neutralized, I guess, at 3 kilometers. But that's usually only for sprint stages. Uphill stages, they don't have that rule. So how in the world did that work? Because it was basically kind of uphill. So the rules are kind of, they finished on it.
Shit, now I'm thinking, and it hurts.
So Roglic's opinion, he started, if you look at his attack, I mean, early on with 13K, Jumbo-Visma was getting him up front because they were trying to catch Remco out of position, get a split. Well, it kind of fell apart, and he did it on his own. He attacked from the right-hand side. And when he got a gap, he just went full gas, and he really didn't care about winning the stage. He wanted the time. When he looked back, he just had the company that he ended up try to finish with. And that's why he kind of everybody went to the right. Mads went to the right, and he just moved over. I don't think he saw Fred.
You don't think it was a Slurpee that some Spanish kid threw into the road?
No, because you can see on the contact if you look straight ahead.
I'm just saying.
It looks like a touch of wheels.
Yeah, I think they bumped shoulders is what it was. Because kind of like, when you make contact, you kind of go like that and go on. And I think Roglic moved over and just didn't see him because he was kind of slightly ahead, and then bang, he probably didn't realize he was there.
I'm going with the Spanish kid.
Spanish kid with 7-Eleven Slurpee.
He's just like, because I only know so much Spanish, so unfortunately I know how to say "fuck your mother," "Chica tu madre," and he threw it into the road. I just wanted to say that on the show.
Yeah.
So that's what he did. "Chica tu madre," and he threw it into the road, and that was the end of the deal. Although I have seen online like a smudge on the road, and it was like, what was this? Is this what sent Roglic down?
No, contact.
I was like, no, it was fucking, he can't. Mm-hmm. He's a skier. He's not made to ride a bike.
What do you guys think about the 3 kilometer rule?
Sam?
Same as you. I understand why it's there, but yeah, I mean, I think that end part of a race is critical. Like, you should be able to navigate through, the final kilometers of a bike race and stay upright.
Especially mechanical, doesn't make sense.
Yeah, that does not make sense to me if it's mechanical.
Would a kilometer be more effective?
They tried that for a while.
Yeah.
But the thing is by a kilometer, everyth's set up. That's where the crash is right before.
Your full sprint train.
At 3K, people are setting up for the lead outs and stuff.
Yeah.
So
and maybe a crash, I guess it makes sense, but mechanical really doesn't. That's stupid. Mm-hmm. Your equipment should be set.
Yep.
And if you get unlucky that you get a flat tire, then
running tubeless
run
is your
fucking
decision.
armadillos.
Yeah.
Have to get a bike change.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was screaming. I was like, holy shit. Now we've got a fucking bike race on our hands.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to gain 40 seconds of the minute 40 that he's down.
Roglic
or whatever
did
it was.
get his time from that lead group from the time the
Yeah,
rest of the pack came
it was
in.
like
So
8 seconds, though.
I think it was a little bit more than that because there was another split group. So he's down. Roglic is down 128.
How about
if he starts tomorrow?
How about his? Yeah, that's the thing. That's the other thing. It's just like, oh my god.
Can we just say Jackson's won?
Yeah.
Our little
I have
competition.
2 riders left. And so if Roglic is out, then I have only Remco.
I've got Jake Stewart, and he's actually racing the Tour of Britain.
Oh, would you look at that?
Wow. Who the fuck?
It's right there.
Well, there
There's
you go.
erroneous information that you gave me.
It's Pro Cycling Stats. I'm taking my lead from Pro Cycling Stats. Sorry, but I'm going to talk about Zwift. Paul. Market-leading indoor cycling app Zwift has finally unveiled its first foray into hardware with the launch of its first ever turbo trainer. I love that they still call it turbo trainer. The Zwift Hub. Direct drive smart trainer. And they, it looks pretty similar to a lot of the other designs. According to Zwift, it has some small changes. Redesigned upper to improve compatibility with more bikes. There's a few internal changes to improve durability, and it's priced at $499, which, if you're in the trainer market, that's actually pretty damn cheap.
Wait, is it a direct drive?
It is.
Yes.
And it is made by Zwift. So Zwift is entering the market of their own domain to a certain extent.
I'll correct you on that. They don't make it. There's another company called Black something that has one like that, and they use the same hardware, but it is theirs.
It's their own
much.
branding.
Yeah.
So and which is a gigantic step forward. There were talks about Zwift making a full bike designed after the Tron bike, which is what you supposedly get if you reach a certain level. Personally, I would never ride that fucking bike on Zwift because I think it looks stupid. I think it's dumb. Although I love the movie Tron. But here we are because the times have changed and because the world has changed and because we're no longer in a pandemic. Zwift has had to make cuts in their personnel and their overall budgets. An interesting choice to be made right now, and your guys' thoughts on in terms of Zwift's sustainability, because Peloton, it's pretty much done now. Mind you, it's a different market, and
Did you hear Amazon bought Peloton?
What?
Yeah,
really.
And so now they're going to be investing more into more than just the bike. I heard.
Well.
What? Yeah.
Wow.
I heard that on. I think I was sitting in a coffee shop and I heard that on the TV.
Really?
Yeah.
So, the rumors are that they bought it. We don't have a secured source. No, I'm giving you shit. Because that would be really interesting. But is Zwift circling the bowl like Peloton, or is Zwift? Do we think it's a truly sustainable platform that will be here until ever, and nobody's ever going to try and crush it? Even though our friends at the Sufferfest in Wahoo are trying to equate it, if not match it, is Zwift the source for our online cycling?
I think Zwift has a platform that is unmatched by really any other company, which doesn't
hurt that Jay Vine is doing so damn well in the Vuelta.
Yeah, that too. But I think that, like, for instance, with the stuff that Wahoo makes, I think that it's not meant to be the same. I think it's meant to be a whole other platform in and of itself, and I think it's more meant to be like a training regimen rather than a like a virtual world you can enter in to just really experience something different. It is Zwift kind of a lot of foam on that one.
I've never poured a beer before.
Sorry, anyway. No, but Zwift almost reminds you of like an AI experience where you just go into something and then it's just like a never-ending world. And so I don't think that they will really see bankruptcy like ever, And I also think that this move was more of matching what competitors are doing rather than looking for the next best thing in hopes to save their business, Yeah. Because it really, I think I use it and I think it's a really useful training platform. Yeah. So I don't think it will ever.
I rejoined after the
already
Tour de France Femmes. I rejoined after the Tour de France Femmes, but just simply because I was like, these guys are investing major amounts of money into bike racing, and I'm like, I'm fucking in. Take my money. And I'm still the other platforms, but
do you cancel your? Do you guys cancel yours at the end of this?
Who pays for it year round?
I do.
What?
Yeah, $16.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's $16.
That's like 2 St. Bernardus.
That's like 2 St. Bernardus.
Yeah.
By the end of summer, I could buy a decent bottle of whiskey.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
all summer long.
Yeah. I think that Zwift has its place. I hate Zwift. It's never going to be for me. But, I hate chasing cartoons. It's just, it's not for me. I love Trainer Road. I've used it for the last 8 years or something like that. Man, since they were pretty new to the market.
Yeah.
And I love it because it's just a blank screen that says, this is what you need to do. And I either stare at a wall or I watch Top Gun.
Really?
Yep.
Top Gun.
Like every time you watch Top Gun?
Fuck, that's why he has the stash. You're the guy who's seen Top Gun Maverick like 3 times, right?
4 now.
4.
Last night.
I haven't even seen it yet.
Yeah. But like, my wife loves Zwift. Like
Does she?
She loves it, and I think that and I know a lot of my Ricky Racer friends that also love Zwift.
Wait, what does that mean?
What the fuck is a Ricky Racer?
You guys are Ricky Racers. We're all Ricky Racers.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, Ricky Racers are just
like amateurs?
More or less. Yeah, it's kind of like a fun way to call, somebody who takes like bike racing more seriously. You're Ricky Racer.
Is this a new term?
That's a term you haven't heard before?
Is this old school?
Yeah, no,
You've heard
that's
this
old.
Yeah.
Shit, this is the new Lil
It's kind of
Wilcox
it's
thing.
kind of like
I'm gonna
Weekend Warrior.
get fucking shit for this on.
Yeah,
Really?
it's like a more serious or a faster Weekend Warrior.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Which we can talk about when we talk about the paper plate thing, because I have names for things.
Should
So
we just?
I'll chip in on mine on that. What I found interesting doing research on it, because it's on every social media that Zwift has the hub out.
Yeah.
And that's how I knew that somebody else made it. I saw this one YouTuber guy talking about it, and that's his specialty is indoor training and stuff. And he tests out all these different trainers, and he likes it a lot. There's a few drawbacks that, like Wahoo has multiple Bluetooth, so if you have different things that you want to your own power, that type of thing.
Yeah.
This one is kind of limited. There's only one Bluetooth, but they have a way you can get your power to work with anyway. So there's at $4.99, it's a lost leader for them. They're not making money. The idea is selling these probably
Bringing
with a small
you into the cult.
You are going to go on that. It is compatible with X System, Wahoo X, and other platforms like Trainer Road and stuff. And he says it performs. He says it's dang quiet. It's really, really quiet. So he has
comes with a full cog set on it too.
Yeah, that price does, and you get to choose what cog set you come.
Shit,
with.
that's $100 in itself,
right?
Yeah, exactly.
I just take that off,
and then
put it on my bike.
And then it has different spacers. It has a card, so people that don't know, it comes with a card, and it has, like, you put it in your rear dropout, and it says you need this spacer for this.
No shit.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's really, really user-friendly. I mean, they did a really good job marketing it. So, but he says right now, before it comes out in October, they launched it, but he says there's discrepancy in their power is a little bit off.
Okay.
And so they're working on that hardware, which he said was strange because he showed the other one that was that the company that made it, and he already tested it last year. He says the thing was pretty good. Wow. So there's a hardware, a firmware thing that needs to be squared away. Yeah, and they can fix that. So, and I'm sure they're on that. So I think it's a great idea. It's something that I thought about for a direct drive. I mean, I don't care. I will never Zwift. I don't enjoy it at all. I'm like with Sam. I enjoy Wahoo's, their X. I like, actually looking at footage and having a program, and you just train while you're watching
classic
videos.
Sufferfest.
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah,
I enjoy that type of training. So,
Jackson, I'm thinking of incorporating a weekly race into my regimen throughout the entire winter. A Zwift race. Mm-hmm. I don't want to do the same night because usually the same night means you're doing the same course every week. But do you have any perspectives in that? Yeah.
I did a lot of that last year, probably like 2 months of that last year.
You raced?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would do it weekly.
Mm-hmm.
And it definitely, I think it really kind of gave me that competitive edge a little bit mentally, but also physically. I think it definitely kept me I think Zwift racing is also so different in that every race that I did, it would always be like me and another guy up front, or it would be like me and two other guys up front, and it would always come down to that sprint, or they'd be attacking with
using their power up bullshit.
Exactly. Unbelievable power, but it would just be it would definitely, I think it just gave me that little sharper edge, which I really enjoyed. But I think fitness wise, it's really nice to have that race ready fitness, even though it can feel like an impossible amount of wattage to carry. It's just even if people are cheating, it doesn't matter. Try and keep up.
Yeah.
That's what I always think.
You should be our next Jay Vine, Jackson.
Yeah,
because I just want to
winning the polka dot in the Vuelta.
I want to live through you. I really want to live through you. And that's the only
No
reason why
pressure.
I had you.
Yeah.
Well, there were two reasons why I had you. One was to change channel for me, and the other was
And then one was accidental.
yeah. Hey, let's get to the topic for tonight's show, which is brought to us by our friends at Untapped. I'm such a prick. Untapped Maple. Trust Ted King. Trust Untapped Maple. The easiest digestible gels, brilliant Stroop waffles, and hydration aids used to the best Vermont maple syrup theme. Sounds funky, but trust us, it's brilliant. Use the link at Packfiller to grab some of this great fueling option. I want to talk about the season in review. And I know it's not the end of the season, and we've been kind of touching base on it quite a bit this show. And I want to talk about our own personal cycling spring and summer, but I also want to talk about where we're going. What worked this season, what we think needs to be done next season. Sam, you've been I don't know if the average person knows about paper plate rides and things like that. So what races, in your personal opinion, went well? What's going on with our local I want to talk locally because that's what we know, but I think people can apply it to their own local scenes. And what works well locally, what is hurting locally, and what can be fixed locally. That's a gigantic question. Yeah. So and I know again, I open that up to anybody. If
I have comments on it. I think that there is a very strong group of your diehard cyclists. Yeah. For instance, there's that group that rides every morning. Mm-hmm. There's a 4:30 group, there's a 5:30 group, and there's a 6 o'clock group, and they're all decent sized groups.
Are you shitting me? All three of those groups go off every morning.
Every morning
here in this town.
Yeah, one leaves from Hutton, one leaves from Pittsburgh and whatever, and then one leaves from Rocket. It's every day.
That's the fast group.
That's the fast group. Yeah. But the thing is that there's no props to ODZ for doing the RC3. I have to plug them for that because they did a great job. It's fun to race, and I think it's really cool to have that, but I don't think it has to be a race. And that's why making it fun in the sense of a Ricky Racer paper plate where just show up and there's no real entry fee unless we have to cover grounds for somewhere, and it's just go out and ride your bike hard. If you're not shelled at the end, you haven't done it right. And hopefully we can. That's what we're missing. So hopefully we can get that.
So, but when we first of all, when you talk about paper plate rides, for people who don't know what it is, it's just somebody goes out there beforehand and puts paper plates with directional arrows on it.
Yep.
And that's it. And as somebody who's put on a race now, I can say that. And well, fuck it, I helped technically put on 2 Olympic trials with my family, but I always worry about, oh my God, what if somebody crashes? I'm the guy who put out the announcement for this ride. What am I going to do if everybody crashes into the side of a bus, and things like that? We're in such a litigious society that I know that there are potential race promoters out there who are terrified of just getting caught doing something that they can't afford. What do we say to them?
Well, one option, didn't you do an interview with Oprah a while ago? Some guy was, and that's so cheap. I think it was $3 a racer or something. Yeah. And heck, then you're paying $3, or you sign this waiver that says I assume all responsibility for my actions between the time of 6 o'clock and 8 o'clock. I don't know. NABARA, North American. I have them as a place on my phone. So if everybody can look them up, if you want to, NABRA.US. But they offer insurance, don't they?
Yeah,
for races at a very cheap cost? Because USAC is expensive.
Yeah.
And that's the whole thing is, when you get to USAC level, you're paying for officials that are timing your races so that you can get points so that you can move up. And honestly, I mean, maybe this is just the old retired me talking, but I don't care. I'm not moving up. I'm not moving down. I am where I am, and I just want to go out and ride my bike hard, whether it's against a Cat 4 or a X Pro. You know, I just want to go ride. So I don't need the points.
We had a great series, guys, last year. We called it they called it the Thursday night
Throwdown TNT,
which was such a fun ride to be. It was the same course every week, and it just became this kind of cultural thing that people would show up, and it just became this absolutely brutally hard ride. And you could ride with whatever group you ended up with, because it started with a medium climb, and we've talked about it in multitude in this show, but what's to I want to crush the fears. What's to stop some asshole on your ride from having a bad day, running into a pylon, crashing, and taking your house away from you?
Well, that's some of the reason that TNT, as we know it, has changed.
Yeah.
That's the one you were mentioning.
Yeah.
The charter ODZ is the team that put it on, and they were told from the overseeing bodies, you can't do that anymore, liability, even though we signed waivers. And there's a gentleman that I know, he writes quite a bit. You guys know him too, but he's an attorney.
This country. God,
and
this
he,
pisses
and he
me
said,
off.
you have no idea. Even when you signed a waiver like that, there is, when you organize and there's not control of the situation, you're going to be, because you can't control everything, right?
Yeah.
So that's where USAC, when they do their, dollar sign of what it costs, it's because all over the place, what it takes to get. It's happened so many times that they're banking. They're kind of putting a reserve in there because you're going to get sued. So that's a drawback to racing in the United States right now because of that. And I look at NoCal, which is guys in Central California or Northern California, and they do like a weekly race in the industrial park. And this guy films it. He's been on with Mike Bikes and stuff, and it's actually great footage, and he's a great sprinter.
That's in San Luis Obispo, right?
Yeah.
That's what my brother was talking about.
Yeah, and they always do it. And sometimes there's cars on the road. I've seen crashes, and everybody they all agree to stop. This is all, but I don't know to what extent there's any signing off or anything.
Yeah,
there is. And he said that. Well, so my brother used to do all his races, and I did a couple of them when I went down there for an extended period. And
it's called a VSO, isn't that?
Yeah,
course. Yeah.
And you just, that was such a freaking cool course. If we ever want to do a training camp, we're going there.
Okay.
But so
I'm in.
It's like every week they do this, and then they also have weekday crits and all that stuff. And it's just in an industrial park. But my brother said that they had him sign some waiver saying that you assume all responsibility for riding here tonight.
Yeah.
And it was a very laissez-faire thing, but I don't know. If anybody were to ever sue you for something like that, I say we just get the community together to go and do old
Lynch
school,
mob?
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Grab that motherfucker.
Yeah.
Wow.
No, but it's always a fear, but I think it's one of those things that, man, I don't think we can live in that fear, and because bike racing's just gone then.
Yeah.
It's gone.
Yeah.
And
well, I mean, even the mentality of just saying, "Hey, everybody on Strava, I'm going to go do this loop on Tuesday. See ya."
Yeah. What's the difference if
Is
you
that
put on social media? I plan on riding this loop.
Come cheer me on.
Yeah, and people
show up. If you guys care to do this loop, how is that? How am I responsible? I'm going to ride this whether you show up or not. I'm not showing responsibility.
Right.
You guys rode together last weekend.
Yeah.
Does that mean one of you was liable for the other person's
I don't know.
health?
It depends on your attorney.
Yeah.
And how much money the dickhead that's trying to sue you wants.
Jackson, you did the races in Portland. They were USAC, right?
Mm-mm.
They weren't.
They were Obra.
They were Obra.
Because it was in Oregon.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
But I mean, at no time was I ever if I crashed, I'm gonna sue the shite out of this place.
God. But there's always a prick in every.
Well, that's the sore
Prick in every
losing
pine
dentist,
cone.
right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Dentist or anesthesiologists.
Yep. The ones that can will.
They all have fucking Pinarellos. But okay, so let's say perfect world. We are in a loss of events. Usually, in our community, we're in a gigantic loss of events. What would be something that you could hitch your horse to, so to speak? Is that the right redneck terminology? I don't know.
Hitch your wagon.
Hitch your wagon to. Thank you. Hitch your wagon to.
I'm from Reardon.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
What is something that you could personally? How do we make a difference? Because back in the day, we all had to be a part of a cycling club, or we had to pay extra, and every one of those cycling clubs had to put on an event, and that was why racing flourished. Now we're staring down the barrel of nobody wanting to put one on because everybody's a prick and everybody's going to complain about the fact that my price money wasn't large enough or the timing was off and my nutrition fucking value or whatever. It's just I'm speaking to you, the triathletes. But why are we? What is some type of an event? And I'm not talking about a USAC registered event. I'm talking about something that you could hang your hat on and say, you know what? I'm going to go out and I'm going to put fucking paper plates on this day, or one day a month, or just once a year, or I'm going to put on, which I'm personally bouncing around my head, and I think I'm a fucking lunatic for doing it. I want to put on a local metropolitan criterium in 2023. I'm about ready to pull the plug on it. I'm about ready to just do it. And I'm like, fucking, let's do it. Let's get the community behind it and let's make it happen. I wouldn't race, obviously, because I'd be too fucking busy. And that's the problem with bike racers. They're too selfish.
Yeah.
So what would be something you, as a bike racer, you selfish prick, could get behind?
Ricky Racer.
Yeah, Ricky Racer. I should, instead of selfish prick, I'll say Ricky Racer. That's what I mean. But what is something you could get behind that you would be willing to say, okay, I'm going to go out for a couple hours and put up some paper plates? What's something you would recommend? And by the way, I also want to mention the fact that I think a time trial series is not a bad thing to bring back.
You don't have a time trial bike, though.
Yeah, I know.
I don't care. I mean, even if you did, you don't have to say you're kidding. Even if it was a Merckx time trial series, or something like that,
or just a time trial series, and who the cares if you got first or last?
Yeah,
and it's more about just going out, and that's where you'd want like almost to cycle through different courses, so you could just do PRs.
Yeah.
And then here's the millennial in me. If you beat your PR, you get a medal.
Yeah.
How about a high five?
Everybody
You
get a hug. Or like Chauvin, or like Ted Chauvin put
2-second
together.
hug. No, 3 seconds.
Ted Chauvin did a series where it was a Strava segment, and he just said between noon and 6 p.m. you got to race this course, wasn't it?
Wednesday, It was Wednesday. I think anytime Wednesday for the month of March. So you had 4 chances.
Yeah, it was a great idea. And
I think for a TT series that would work.
Yeah.
I mean, in course, any dickhead wants to cheat.
Yep.
But you have to Strava it, right?
Yeah.
But if you're on your scooter,
draw a blue line.
like you did,
count?
For Saturday's ride. There's people like Sam that like to cut corners.
Yeah.
And
for example, I was thinking of honestly going out, setting a course, a time trial course, and saying, I personally am going to be there from 5 to 7. Your job is to show up any time between those 2 hours, roll up to the start. We both look at each other and we say, okay, it's 7:14 in 3, 2, 1, go. You go. I mark your time. I time you as a race would time you on a time trial. You finish, and there's a table of swag at the end, but I post results later on, and you can pick up your award a week later.
Yeah. I think that's great. I think personally, because I made the original, I called it Thursday Night Worlds, and this was back in 2016, 17 I did it. And we did Valley Chapel Loop. Mm-hmm. And that was kind of the very beginning of getting that together and going and having some kind of paper plate event. But all I did was just draw the route and you upload it.
Yeah.
Like, you don't even have to.
You don't even have to
do paper plates.
Yeah.
You don't even have to, like, I think it's cool if you'd be there, like, handing out, like, oh, great, you got this time, yada, yada. But, man, you could just make the segment on Strava. Yeah. And then the moment that they upload it and they go, look, I'm the king of the mountain. Great. Here's a coaster.
Pair
go
of
home
dirty
and peg your
socks.
cat.
Yeah. Yeah. But, okay, so I want to hear commitment from cyclists.
Well,
I want to hear commitment. I want to hear you giving back to the sport. What would everybody in this room, and I want you fucker who's listening to me on the online right now, standing.
Ricky Racer, please.
Ricky Racer. I want you in wherever you're listening to this show, where are you willing to help bike racing flourish? I'm not talking paying fucking entry fees. I'm talking about making a race happen, because that's what we all need. Sure, gravel races are flourishing, but take it from us roadies, they're not destined to happen for everywhere.
I'd commit to just something like a weeknight race, something like that. Like, I think that is really a good core of building a community. Because I think that, like we said before, we already have a strong community, but what more can we get out of that? Because I think that a ride/race or spirited ride, whatever you want to call it, that is super inclusive, I think really does bring more of a community than like a sanctioned race would. Because just showing up and having everybody happy that you're there, I think means way more to the beginning cyclist than than showing up to a race and everybody going, we're not happy you're here because you're another name on the list that could beat me. I think that's it. Showing up to a race you pay for is a way different mentality than showing up to a race that you volunteer to be at.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I think
put your names on the line here.
Me,
motherfuckers.
Sam,
yeah.
Waples.
I hereby promise.
AmbassadorCycling.com.
That I won't. I won't. I'm making. It's a Lenten promise. I won't touch myself for 30 days.
How does it
I won't peel any more grapes before
stuff?
I eat it.
So I already ran this all by, like, when I was originally texting you guys, ran it by my wife, and I was like, how cool would it be if we had a Tuesday, Thursday series? And I'm like, I'm all in. I've already have the old, Facebook page that I created for this, and my thoughts are we have a couple different courses and we have a couple different race styles. And so, like, the TNT from last year would be one. Maybe we would include the TNT from this year if people enjoy it. And then the Valley Chapel Loop that I used to do. And then we can do a version of what I used to do in Bellingham, which was the Rabbit Ride. And you pick your 4-man team and you would leave. If you think that you're going to be a slower team, you'd leave earlier on the hour. And if you think you're going to be a faster team, you'd leave later on the hour. Hopefully everybody finishes at the same time.
These are all Strava based?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so then, but like the whole idea, and then if you wanted to do like a road race on Thursdays, because those are the days that I would commit to, is you could even split it up into 2 groups and you have your, Silver Sneakers group or your Weekend Warriors, and then you have your Ricky Racers.
I like this.
I don't really name your group. I don't care.
They all sound like Hanna-Barbera cartoons.
Yeah, like maybe the B group, can leave like 10 minutes earlier so that like you're finishing about the same time. Like that would kind of be cool because it would cut out a lot of where people didn't want to participate because like, well, I'm just going to get dropped. It's like.
We used to do something called an Australian handicap, where it was the slower riders had a time advantage. They started 5, 10, 15 minutes before the rest of the group, and you staggered those starts, and everybody just went full gas, trying to catch each other.
Yeah, that's like the Rabbit Ride.
Is that what it is?
Yeah,
okay.
That's the same. Yeah, same concept.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. I don't hate them. I don't hate those ideas.
I think.
Consistency is the
we're
problem.
We're talking midweek. That's good for midweek, but I think that all of us have nothing to do on the weekends
That's
until
the
racing
problem.
picks
We've
up.
lost weekend racing.
So Race, who I met This is a guy's first name.
Yeah,
that
Race Jones.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he lives in Coeur d'Alene. He was talking to me about he wants to set up something in Coeur d'Alene, like on the weekends. I said, contact us.
Yeah.
Maybe we can get like a small little paper plate. He didn't want it big, but like there's a group of people there's a big group of people who are like, well, what are we gonna do?
Yeah.
Or this weekend I can't. I can maybe go to Coeur d'Alene and race, but I can't go down, on the west side.
For those people who don't know, Coeur d'Alene is 30 miles away from us. Yeah.
And Spokane, that's 30 minutes away, but in California, that would be 2.5 hour drive.
Yeah.
So, or Seattle area,
But creating,
but see, you would have like if you can get together, if you get a group of people together and say, first Saturday of the month. Race has this course. That's what's going to be. Packfiller does ours, like on that one. Inland Empire Way has the second Saturday of that month. But if people don't show up because there's a race, that's fine. I mean, still there's people that can't go that weekend, but can afford a 30-mile drive to go race against a bunch of knuckleheads or rookie racers.
We're going back to every club, every organization, every group saying, I got this one. That's all it takes.
Yeah.
Is a collection of people saying, I'm not going to do every fucking one. Mm-hmm. We used to have a Tuesday night series throughout the entire season where one club spearheaded it the entire time. It was our club, Arrive Cycling Club, that started it and maintained it forever. And then a local club called the Badlands Cycling Club took it over. And then it died when they became just tired or didn't want to do it anymore. And
they're trying to bring it back, though. They are. Their venue is been the racetrack up that, it's kind of be like it is a Tuesday night race series.
We have a local venue,
Yeah, and it is an actual circuit course for cars, but we've been on this like a 2.5 mile lap.
Yeah.
But the property was sold it was purchased by the county of Spokane and then sold to Spokane tribal Northern Quest Casino, which is just in that area. So their changing of hands is where the confusion came. So
but what I'm saying here is if everybody says I'll do a piece of the pie, all of a sudden we've got racing. And I'm talking to everybody who's listening to this show who doesn't live in the Metro Spokane area. You can make it happen if you just say, and it doesn't have to be grandiose. It could be, and I remember we used to have races that the fucking can of Spam was the trophy, and that was funny and it was fun, and you just
Spam
gotta,
Light, by the way.
Was it
Spam Light?
They made Spam Light.
Light.
There is such thing as
Yes,
Spam
there
Light.
was. Yeah, that was CP's gig. That was his trophy. So he's the one that came up.
Yeah, it was. And CP put on a shit ton of races.
Yeah, he did.
And it burned him out, man. And so I wish USAC would put down the rule that clubs have to put on a race again. Because it doesn't have to be grandiose. It doesn't have to be huge. It doesn't have to be this gigantic, crit in downtown whatever city. It doesn't have to have the Legion of LA there. Fuck those guys.
Bring them up to Spokane. I'm gonna smoke them.
Yeah. Well, yeah, right.
But
I'm gonna talk mad trash until I'm off back.
Yeah, you know what? I'm at the point where we put on a race this year, and I'm like going, okay, I could buy it off a little bigger piece, and maybe I'm at the point where I need to put my money where my mouth is and help put on a race, and not help, probably spearhead, put on a race of moderate size, and we've been talking about this, Paul, for a long time, and I think it's time to shit or get off the pot, as they say. And so it's I'll do that, but I think if Sam, you were saying I'm willing to say I'm gonna do a Thursday a month. I'm not saying every
no,
Thursday.
That's the thing is, like, I set up my work schedule this year banking on going to Thursday nights.
Yeah.
The course just wasn't my course. And I don't want to bet. Like, great for them for
ODZ
putting it on.
is
great
making
for them.
an effort. Yeah.
I'm super stoked. But me personally, I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to put my foot down for next year. like I built my schedule around Thursdays. I'm gonna be setting something up for Thursdays, and whoever wants to join me, they can join me. But I'm gonna that's my commitment, and if I can't make it, I'll post it, the race, what the course is, and the style, and people can go out and do what they please.
So just, I think, bang the drum in terms of communication. Get everybody excited, and just say, hey, let's split the load. Let's make this happen. Every community out there I know has this, and it's probably dealing with these issues. Even if it's a time trial, I think a time trial. I miss a time trial series personally. I think it'd be fun. But anyway, let's end with some fun, shall we? Shall we?
Yeah.
Hey, let's.
Because we weren't having fun before.
No.
Yeah.
That's dreadful talk.
Let's have some fun with a good old-fashioned Packfiller classic called "And the Horse You Rode In On." I name the team or rider in this situation, and you name the bike they actually compete on.
Oh,
Easy.
All right? Now, this is easy.
I love this.
But you have to chime in with your name first, or I will not count your response as appropriate. Was that
knee.
you?
Yeah, that was my knee.
God, it shook
The
whole
bad one?
bar.
But yeah.
Not the
I'm
bad
tacking
one.
on the next hill.
So, for example, I would say Greg LeMond La Claire. Yeah,
That was a look.
Paul?
Yes, that was a Lavacar. He raced on a look bike. That was the
Labeled
the
Eno.
K90.
But it was Eno. He started on Eno.
Yeah, but they finished though on Lavacar. They had
Well,
look bikes.
that's not how
After
I
they-
asked, Paul. So
Yes,
you,
it is.
you
That's
fail.
part of it. See.
I'm screwed.
No, they're not old teams.
Game on.
They're not old teams.
I'll smoke you.
Oh, I'm screwed.
I have 11, so I will keep track. Jan, Sam, Paul. Okay, first team. Oh, sorry, I gave it away. Team Euskadel Euskadi.
Paul
Paul.
or Baez.
Oh, well, you guys might be fucked.
Wait, okay. Because hasn't... no, never mind.
It is
Yeah,
Orbea.
they're back. If you watch,
They are back.
Yeah.
They are in
Yeah.
in the Vuelta. This one's gonna go fast. Groupama FDJ.
Jackson.
Paul.
Oh.
Lapierre.
Ah,
I knew that.
You guys are just gonna yell out your
Yeah.
names for
Yeah.
a second.
Yeah.
The moment that you
Yeah.
say
Dad,
anything.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Did you put Trek Segafredo in here?
Didn't, but I did do Burgos BH.
Jackson.
Ah, shit.
KTM.
Nope.
No,
BH.
BH.
Ah,
Yeah.
that's.
You didn't
They-
get the joke.
Wait, what did you say?
I did. I said, but I did do Burgos BH.
I was thinking of B&B hotels.
Yes, you were. Mm-hmm. They ride KTMs.
They do
So if
ride
that's on
KTMs.
there,
They do ride KTMs.
he doesn't get it.
I'm not saying anything.
Or yes,
Some of these are going to go
me.
very fast. Total Energy.
Paul.
Same. You suck.
That would be a Specialized.
Yep.
Ooh, I thought you were gonna miss it.
I
Paul's
thought
wheelhouse.
so too.
Pete Stetina.
Jackson. Canyon.
Sam, did your mic work?
I just checked.
Kate Courtney.
Sam.
Jackson.
Scott.
Sam on fire.
Yeah.
My girl.
Uh-huh.
She's so cool.
She's amazing.
She's a fucking stud.
Sparkle power.
She does, exactly. Nino Schurter.
Jackson. Scott.
Oh, see how I did that? I did two Scott
did,
teams
yeah.
right after each other. Sam, I'm disappointed in you. A team. Hub Wattback. Why? Hot Hoob Watt Bike Track.
Jackson.
Delicious.
Isn't it?
Hub Watt Bike Track.
Isn't it? Hub.
Hub. No. They don't ride Hub. Hoob. Hub.
Paul.
Hub. Hoob. Hoob.
Paul.
No.
Penarellas.
Nope.
No.
Sam, you got an open
Look.
course? Nope.
Who is
They ride, and
Yeah, on the
Jack
track.
Broadhead screaming into
Ah,
his device
yeah,
right now. They
yeah.
ride Argon 18s. Kofidis.
Jackson.
Paul. Ah, damn.
DeRosa.
Oh, damn. I'm shifting my eyes back and forth. Israel Prima.
Sam.
Factor.
Fuck. Paul.
I was just slow on that.
And the last one. I'm gonna give how far Sam's back behind 4, so I'll give 5 points for this. Kern Pharma, also currently in the Vuelta a España, dark green jerseys.
Jackson.
Yes.
Do they ride Giants?
Holy shit on a
wow.
shingle!
Wow.
What?
He deserved that. He could eat that. No clue.
Yeah, no.
I remember seeing that earlier in the year. Yep.
They do ride Giants.
You know what,
Jackson
Kate Courtney,
crushed it
Yeah.
with 10 points. Paul with 3, and Sam was here.
Wah, wah, wah.
Yeah. I think I have that. Do I have one?
I don't care what bike you ride, I'll fit it.
There we go.
That was nice.
That's
Ambassador
ambassadorcycling.com.
Yeah. Oh my God, that was great. You guys, okay, so we have all in essence agreed that making races happen is critical, and they don't have to be races. They can just be spirited group rides. That's the thing I miss the most, is just our training races, where you get a group of people together, and it's just
Kill one another type thing?
yeah.
Yeah.
And it wasn't, it doesn't have, you're not signing something up. You're not winning something. It's not listed anywhere. You just go out and you bleed through your eyeballs. And I think we need that in the sport. And, and so there we go. There's our finish. Does anybody got anything they want to finish with? Anything you've seen cool that's online? Any technical elements other than the Zwift trainer that you think are absolutely mind-blowing? What's a big scoop you got? If anybody has nothing, I will just end the show.
Nada.
Paul shaking his head.
Don't think so.
Yeah, nothing big.
All right. There's your scoop, everybody.
I mean, nothing's really come out.
Yeah. Well, a new Zwift trainer came out.
Well, yeah, but
like
It's a trainer.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's chasing cartoons.
Yeah.
Oh, BMC put out a new gravel bike today.
Really?
They did.
Oh, wow.
So,
What's the call? In fact, I haven't opened my email because I always.
it's like it's a weird name. It starts with an R, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you'll have
like
to look
Rodeo
it up.
Labs? That's
Not again. Exactly. Yeah.
Rustic mustache. That's what it's called. That's what it should be called. God damn it.
Yeah.
Taken from 3 of us who have mustaches. Paul,
No facial hair.
There's a little bit there.
And don't tell my wife.
You
She
didn't
makes me
shave
shave
today.
all the time.
Thanks, everybody. Like, subscribe, tell a friend, and we'll catch you next week.